do what we do in my mother's memory. Her life told the story of why Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope's work is so important. Mary Artu was one of the first children we helped when we began our work in Sierra Leone in 2012. She lost her lower left leg when she crawled onto a landmine when she was just 7 months old. My family and I met her during a visit to Sierra Leone 3 years ago. She was 8 then and had only ever had one prosthetic leg. Children in this country often have 2 or 3 a year. For most of her life, Mary Artu had struggled to make friends and to go to school. But what I remember most is that she couldn't smile. It was as though she tried, but she just could not. Unable to play, she was lonely and sad. Her mother had witnessed such horrors in the cruel Civil War. She struck me as traumatized. But with Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope, through our partnership with Street Child, we were able to help her. We gave Mary Artu a leg and all the support she needed to go to school. And in doing so, we gave her the life she deserved. 2 years later, we saw pictures of her, healthy, having grown, smiling and loving school. And her mother was smiling too. But sadly last September, whilst the Ebola crisis was at its worst, Mary Artu developed an infection in the bone of her residual leg, and she wasn't able to receive the help she needed. Infection of the bone can be, and for many amputee children in the developing world, often is fatal. This is why not only do we provide the limbs we so obviously need, but we also provide the surgery to help them wear their limbs and to save their lives. In this country, child amputees quickly receive the surgery they need and can be out of hospital within a week. But due to the Ebola crisis, it was not the case for Mary Artu, and she died. We will always remember her, and we dedicate this service to her. Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope partners with organisations on the ground in developing countries who are doing so much to address the huge range of difficulties that thousands of amputee children face. Our journey began in Tanzania soon after Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope was launched in 2011 with the setting up of a limb clinic near Lake Victoria, working with Friends of the Children in Tanzania. We also supported amputee children at the Metamini School in the country's capital, Dar es Salaam. And in 2012, we joined with Street Child in Sierra Leone. Our partnership with them has now been extended into Liberia. I'm delighted to tell you too that very recently we have partnered with ELoH, Health and Education for All, an amazing charity in the Andhra Pradesh region of India. 23 years ago, a surgeon from this country called Dr. Prasad set up a village for orphans, which has grown into a thriving community called the Paradise Village. Together with Dr. Prasad and ELoH, we are setting up a limb clinic there. And we have identified 80 amputee children who will be given limbs, surgery, and all the care they need to live fulfilling lives. We are delighted that Dr. Prasad is here tonight, and all of us at Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope are very excited indeed about the future of this project and how it will change children's lives forever. Thank you for being here and for listening to me and for caring about the amputees we want to help that need us so much, children like Mary Artu. I'm delighted too that Tom Dannatt, who set up Street Child, is here with us this evening, and he will tell you more about how we are working together to help the amputees in Sierra Leone and Liberia. Thank you, Tom.
Sarah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, my name is Tom Dannatt. I'm the founder and director of the charity Street Child, which works in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and after the earthquake, we started working in Nepal also. Street Child is an organisation dedicated to to the rights of children, particularly the most vulnerable children, particularly the right to education. We partner with a range of organisations to achieve our goals. Street Child is currently enabling over 40,000 children to gain education. We've already heard from our largest partner, we've heard from the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Street Child is a DFID-sponsored charity. DFID provide over a quarter of our funds. I say that because that should give you some comfort as supporters of Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope, because I can assure you the DFID assessment process is a rigorous one. As an aside, I also want to say one of the things that makes me proudest to be a British citizen is the fact that 0.7% of our GDP goes to places like Syria and Liberia. It's my privilege to see the difference that makes on the ground through our partnerships. That's the same privilege I have when I'm on the ground looking at our work with the charity ELoH. I started Street Child because I wanted to support the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable. I cannot think of a more disadvantaged category of children, people on the planet, an amputee child living in West Africa, particularly Liberia and Syria, two of the very poorest countries in the world. Countries that were ravaged by civil war, got a bit better for a while, of course, the awful Ebola virus, which I shan't dwell on, but I certainly could. There are two strands to our work. One, Sarah's really touched upon, is the medical component. Doing everything we can to ensure that the amputee situation of a child is managed as best as possible. Sometimes this is possible, sometimes it's difficult. But there are so many more disadvantages that go with being an amputee child in this type of context. The stigma. In a poor family, families are making choices about which children to send to school, which to invest in. The child at the bottom of the heap is an amputee child. We have social workers who go out and they spend time with amputee children, they spend time with their families. They negotiate places at school. Our programs that ELoH sponsor the children to go to school. We then help these families build their businesses. We invest in their businesses. We have a separate business planning and support team. Our work is sustainable. Our work is focused on helping children walk both physically where it's possible, but also metaphorically to give them a chance in life. That's what Mariatu had, and sadly Ebola took it away. But we are working with hundreds of children on the ground in Liberia and Syria, and with your help we can work with hundreds more. Victoria is going to come on and speak to you shortly. She's going to emphasise how little it costs to change a child's life. To enrol a child on one of our programs in West Africa costs as little as £20 a month. For every person that were to sign up for £20 between now and Christmas, we could potentially enrol a new child into our programs between now and Easter. They'll get the social care, they'll get access to a doctor, they'll get access to a school, their family will receive a business grant, business training. That child would have a chance of life. That child would have hope. Hope at Christmas for £20 a month is an incredibly good deal. And what I urge you, instead of taking up, thank you, God bless, happy Christmas.
In this beautiful church, as we remember children across the world who live lonely, sad, difficult lives because they can't walk. After tonight, we are going to give so many of them not just a leg, but a smile and life. And that is something to be really proud of. We are going to light up their lives. By now, you will have read in your orders of service the story of Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope, why we set it up, and why we believe in our mission so much. Ours too is a story of light. Bringing light out of darkness is what Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope does. As many of you will know, through your own kindnesses, there is no better reward for helping people than knowing you have made someone else's life even just a little bit easier and a little bit better. Thank you so much to all of you who have supported Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope so far on our 4.5-year journey. As we light up the lives of the children we help, we shine light into our own lives too. Sarah and I were touched, humbled and amazed in equal measure to be made points of light by the Prime Minister just a few weeks ago. This is an award given to those he considers have carried out acts of outstanding voluntary service. We accepted it, not least of all because it will help us spread the message of what Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope does. But we wouldn't have received it and wouldn't be here today without the support of so many others. The Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope family, our families, our friends, our amputees, and those in Africa and India who implement our work. The Prime Minister awards a point of light every weekday. Many receive this recognition for acts of service to others in the aftermath of sadness, as we did. Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope has been and goes on being a comfort to us and has brought light back into our lives after the darkness of the 25th of April 2007. However, volunteering, service, just helping others doesn't have to stem from sadness or tragedy. It just stems from an awareness of others' needs and a willingness to respond in whatever way you can. Anyone can be a point of light. Sarah and Tom have both spoken to you about the amputee children we help, those who have lost legs through illness and accidents, but sadly also far too often because of violence and war. We all know that the world is a far more angry place than it should be, and children, thousands upon thousands, are caught up in the horror. Amputation is just one of the consequences, and this is why we are here this evening. As we look towards Christmas, we want to look towards hope. And what we really need to be able to continue giving hope is your support into the future. If you look inside your orders of service, you will find two separate sheets. One sheet tells you about a little girl called Maini, who took her first steps last year because of the help she has received from Elizabeth's Legacy of Hope. Maini has a bright life ahead of her, now that she has a prosthetic leg and can go to school. We want to continue to help Maini and so many more vulnerable child amputees. The second sheet asks how you might be willing to do this. A regular pledge of £20 a month will look after a child with prosthetic needs, as well as provide them with an education. However, whatever you can give, we are so grateful for, and I can assure you it will go to the amputee children who need it. Whatever you can give will be a truly life-changing and life-saving gift. The light needs to keep shining. Together we can